There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
We are live talking the Raw recap right here on the Squared Circle Digest on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. I am Sean Stanley, and Raw just got done on Netflix. I guess they got the okay to go over the 2.5 hours that everybody was talking about. Oh, they can only go 2.5 hours. Well, went a little longer today. Not much, but a little bit. Enough to say, ha-ha. The main event, we'll discuss in a little bit. Naomi and Bianca Belair defended the tag team titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. We'll let you know what happened there. The action got started with Logan Paul, who I cannot stand, but they opened the show with him and CM Punk. And of course, the promo was basically just trying to get everything set up for this Saturday night, which actually is the Elimination Chamber. And we will have a post show after Elimination Chamber goes off the air. We'll discuss everything because I have a feeling there's going to be some juicy tidbits happening at Elimination Chamber. No doubt, says SCD, Naomi attacked Jade Cargill. I've been saying there's been more to it. I didn't know if it was going to be Jade or Bianca. Naomi or Bianca, but I believe one of them, if not both of them, are involved in that as well. But the main event has kind of, and I thought WWE missed something, and I'll discuss that when I get to the main event. They had a triple threat match. Penta, once again, showing his ability inside the ring, took on Ludwig Kaiser and Pete Dunne. Good triple threat match, allowed all of them to kind of get comfortable and be themselves in the ring. The finish comes with Penta hitting his the arm bar, and then Ludwig Kaiser kind of throwing him out of the ring, and then Ludwig Kaiser ended up getting his finish and the pin. Again, I think they're going toward Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta. This does kind of eliminate Pete Dunne out of the triple threat part of it, but I think you can see a feud moving forward with Penta and Ludwig Kaiser. So we'll see where that leads to. After that, they ran up into the stands and they did another one of those interviews out in the crowd, above the crowd, I'm sorry. And I thought this was a very interesting one because you had Rhea Ripley there and you really didn't discuss a lot about Elimination Chamber. You kind of jumped Elimination Chamber and was really promoting her match next week on Netflix against Io Sky. So it was a little bit odd to me by WWE standards because they really didn't talk a lot about Elimination Chamber and the winner of that facing Rhea Ripley, because they were saying the winner of that will actually face the winner of Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. So they kept promoting that match more. We'll see where it goes. LWO took on New Day. Dragon Lee comes out. Again, this is one of those things where it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. I like New Day as heels. I think they are a lot better heels. At least Xavier Woods to me is a better heel than a babyface. Kofi probably a better babyface than a heel. But to me, and again, not necessarily, but Xavier Woods comes across as a better heel to me than a babyface. Sometimes it felt like he's forcing the babyface. But we'll see where this goes with the whole LWO. They got the pin tonight. Hopefully it moves on, but then with the Dragon Lee, I have a feeling that this is going to continue on. They go back to the Judgment Day headquarters. Finn Balor still blaming Dom for everything that happened last week. Dom tells Balor, well, you're the one that lost to Seth Rollins. Then Liv says, you guys are still, fighting over. It's going to be a good week it's a big week for me. Balor brings up Jade. If Liv and Raquel did that, they brought that onto the Judgment Day, and Liv said they simply were not involved. And again, I found it odd that Balor brings up the Jade Cargill thing, but again, it allows Liv and Raquel again to deny that they were involved. It keeps it in the head. If you think they did it or however your thinking is, it still keeps the whole thing fresh. And then after that, it was the Gunther angle with Akira Tozawa. And here's the thing, man. I love the fact that they gave Tozawa so much. But you know what I was thinking? Because Gunther didn't put the title on the line. He kind of just said he's giving somebody an opportunity to fight the champion. I feel like that would have been a good time for Jey Uso to embarrass Gunther and, hit the music. You hold the whole yeeting. The crowd goes crazy. You get the attention. Gunther gets rolled up somehow by Tozawa. Tozawa gets the pin. And, and the embarrassment. And then you can bring it back next week and Tozawa gets destroyed or whatever. But I thought one opportunity was missed. But again, that's more of the old school thinking, but with so much time in between now and WrestleMania, why not spend a couple weeks with Jey Uso getting some over on Gunther, and then you could have, Gunther beats Tozawa next week, whatever, you put the title on the line. Since Tozawa beat him, he gets a title opportunity. Gunther just destroys him, stays on him, kind of like he did this week. Jey Uso comes out, and then you could have Gunther kind of take Jey out for a couple weeks, beat him down a little bit, put him in the sleeper hold, whatever, powerbomb him through the table, and now you've given yourself, that's 4 weeks out of the 8 weeks that you need leading up to, WrestleMania. So it'll give a little bit of an opportunity for Gunther and Jey Uso feud to breathe a little bit without having to use them. So the fight, I mean, it was what it was. Gunther was going to win ultimately. Gunther does choke out Otis, and then that's when Jey Uso's music finally hits. I just felt like it was a chance for WWE to extend it a little bit longer by having Jey Uso kind of embarrass Gunther, and then of course next week Tozawa doesn't stand a chance. Gunther runs through him, shows his dominance, and then you could do the whole thing again, like I said, where he attacks Tozawa. Jay comes out, ends up on the wrong end of that, and then he's out for a couple weeks leading up to whatever. And you can have Gunther run him down for a couple weeks where Jay's not there. And then, a week or two before WrestleMania, boom, Jay comes back, and the momentum will be there heading into WrestleMania, because I feel like you still have a long way to go with Gunther and Jey Uso doing this every week. Lyra Valkyria beats Dakota Kai again. I mean, I have nothing against Lyra Valkyria, but to me, Dakota Kai has become the Jey Uso of the women's division. She can't win the big match. She gets a title match, she loses. Title match, loses. Title match, loses. And then Ivy Nile attacks her in the back, on the way to the back, then comes out and lays out Lyra Valkyria. And you just had Dakota Kai beat Ivy Nile last week. Why did you even do that? I saw a tweet by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, and he's like, why did you even have, and it 100% correct. Like, that made no sense to do that. If that was the case, then you could have just fed anybody to Lyra. I mean, why Dakota Kai? I don't know where there's more to this than meets the eye with Dakota Kai. Maybe they're building it up for, she loses all these matches and then she's going to come back and win the big match a la Jey Uso. We'll see. Sami Zayn had a sit down. He says he actually went to KO's house too. His mom was there. She's in good spirits. Kind of talked all about that and how, he hopes KO's ready to do what he needs to do on Saturday, because he is, again, just building up the non-sanctioned match. You had KO at his house on Friday. This was kind of that response to that. Dom Mysterio was out with Finn and Carlito. He took on Braun Breaker. It was a pretty good match. I mean, honestly, it was, you had them interfere, but I really felt like the interesting part to this was all of this was done to get to the ending of the match, which was basically Braun and Finn Balor being face to face, because I think that's going to be the next feud for Braun Breaker. I believe Finn Balor is the one that's going to get this, and then Dom just was the feeder. And then when you notice that Dom gets thrown over the top rope, Carlito gets the spear this week, not Dom, not Balor. And, so very interesting how it's been built up all this, the last couple of weeks. Dom took on AJ Styles, gets speared by Braun Breaker. You kind of think it's going to be AJ Styles, Braun Breaker. Now you look at it, and after this week, it looks like it's Braun Breaker, Finn Balor. Could it be a triple threat match? Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Be very interesting to see how that plays out. Then after that match, it was the Creeds and Ivy Nile in the back. They asked Ivy Nile about why she attacked, and she said because Master Gable said we need gold when he comes back, and that's what she plans to do. Now, my only issue with this is they have the Creeds, and all the American gear and everything, kind of looking like a comedic act. They need to be the badasses that they've been all this time. Now you put them with Chad Gable, and now all of a sudden they're a comedy act. It just doesn't make sense to me. The War Raiders ends up attacking them, and then we're gonna have that tag team match next week. There's a tag team title match next week. The War Raiders will take on the Creed brothers. So we'll see where that goes. Does Chad Gable get the gold into American Made? We shall see. Cody Rhodes on Raw. My question was, why? You opened the show doing the Elimination Chamber with CM Punk and Logan Paul. Then you bring out Cody, who on SmackDown was asked, The Rock basically said he wanted the soul. He'll take his answer at Elimination Chamber. You bring him out here, and I didn't understand it. I mean, I guess they told a little bit of a story with Seth Rollins, as Seth Rollins comes out and he says everything he sacrificed for Cody to get that title off of Roman. And now if you think about it, you're how did he say it? He said, the fact that you did not slap The Rock in the face was a slap in my face. What the hell are you thinking? You know, and then Cody says, you know, you sound a little judgmental. And then he goes through all the things that Seth did, turning on the Shield, and then how he hit him in the back with the sledgehammer and all this stuff. And then Seth at the end says, and he says he sounds judgmental because The Rock didn't ask Seth. And then Seth at the end says he's trying to protect Cody from the mistakes he made in the past. And then he said at the end, WrestleMania, I'm not coming for your soul. I'm coming for your title. And the more I think about it with this whole thing, you know, and I want to wait till Wednesday to talk to Frankie about this and get more into the whole Rock Cody end of it, is you got to believe Cody's not going to take up the offer. So now the question becomes, to me, and we'll discuss more on the Squared Circle Digest Wednesday, 7 p.m. Don't forget, this week we are not on Tuesday, we are on Wednesday. Becomes who sells their soul to the final boss. So we'll see how that goes. They do a nice little video reminding you who attacked Jade Cargill. They show the Liv and Raquel whole part. Then they go to break. They come back. Jey Uso's checking on Tozawa. A-Team down under kind of stops them. They kind of berate him, say that nobody in the locker room believes that he isn't in the league with Gunther. Then Jey Uso starts doing the yeet. At the end, he does a yeet, and Austin Theory's doing the yeet at the same time. Waller and Theory start kind of bickering back and forth. Super kick to Grayson Waller. And so I think ultimately you'll probably end up getting a match with Grayson Waller and Jey Uso next week. Or does Austin Theory stick up for his partner and we get that? But either way, I think you get a match with Jey Uso and one of the members of A-Town Down Under on next week's card as well. They did announce, of course, Rhea Io is the match for the women's title, and then the War Raiders and the Creeds for the tag team titles on Raw. Then Bianca and Naomi. I love the way that Bianca and Naomi attacked Raquel and Liv right as soon as the introductions were done. Again, remember what this fight is about. This is to get revenge on Jade Cargill, and there were times where, you know, that affected some of this match. So there was a little bit of a theme and a storyline. A lot of real close calls. Again, on the pin almost. There was almost a 3 count. The ref almost got a 3 count. The double team move from Raquel and Liv. They need to eliminate that from the repertoire. I mean, it is going to hurt somebody. This week it was Bianca, and it's whereas, you know, Raquel picks them up for the move, and then she's supposed to come down and time it when Liv grabs her head and brings them down on her knees there. And it just has not timed out right. And man, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt. Last week, it really looked like they injured, I forgot who it was, but it really looked like they injured her. And then now this week with Bianca, I was like, oh, it just looks, the timing is so bad on it. They need to look at it, or at least try to figure something out. A lot of great transitions in this, especially the Bianca Liv Morgan, when they transitioned into her hitting the KOD, and then Dom puts the foot on the rope. Again, so many close finishes at the end. It started getting the crowd up and into the match near the ending. I felt like the ending kind of fell flat when Naomi goes to do the split leg and then Raquel catches. I mean, I get all of that, but then it was the head to the top of the ring post and then just Liv kind of rolling over in 1, 2, 3 with all of the near falls. I get what they were doing, but it felt like something bigger needed to happen there. But again, it is what it is. Raquel and Liv are your new tag team champions, women's tag team champions. And here's the other part where I think they missed a little bit of the boat. Again, if you want everybody to believe that it was Liv and Raquel that did it, couldn't they have played something on the thing? Jade pulling up outside or a car pulling up outside? Is it Jade Cargill? Is it, again, just to add more to the whole, thing of Jade Cargill? And again, I don't know where she stands as far as being cleared. I don't know if she's cleared, so maybe that's where the hiccup is. But to me, there could have been something. And then and then it could just be, Bianca and Naomi sitting there, reeling from the loss, but looking toward the back like Jade's back. And then you could have Liv and Raquel looking like, oh, Jade's back. So now, again, you just throw the doubt out there on who attacked Jade. I'm not saying Jade's got to come to the ring. I'm not saying any of that. But I felt like at that point, that could have been somewhere where you could have had just her walking out or her just pulling up. Or something there of the, Jade Cargill returning to Raw. I felt like that could have been a miss, unless maybe they're going to do a celebration next week and then Jade Cargill maybe comes out and then ultimately she says it wasn't Liv and Raquel that attacked her maybe. Again, a lot of ways it can go, but I felt like that could have been an opportunity to where you could have given a little bit more, squeezed that lemon, lime, orange, whatever it is, fruit you want to squeeze a little bit more to get more out of it. I want to thank everybody that's been on here and tuned in here on the Raw Recap. Everybody watching on X, Stanley Media _11. Please give me a follow. If you're watching us on Twitch, on Facebook, on the Stanley Media House YouTube channel, or on the Stanley Media House Facebook page, please go like, subscribe, and set the notifications. We got a Talking Racing Now dropping tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Myself and a man you know, but you may not know, Spencer O'Neill. He is co-hosting with me on Talking Racing Now. So make sure you check that out. 8 a.m. It will hit the Stanley Media House Network. And I want to thank again everybody that's been on here talking some WWE wrestling. Wednesday, 7 p.m., we will talk AEW, WWE, and maybe do a little bit of an AEW Dynamite watch-along right here on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, and also the Squared Circle Digest simulcasted on the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. Make sure you check them both out. Hit the subscribes, hit the likes, hit the notifications. Most of all, please share, get the word out. It is the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel and the Squared Circle Digest. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.